And if you all could tell me what your favorite day on set shooting or favorite scene or even favorite line of season 2. Hailee,
no spoilers.
Why don't we start with you? No spoilers.
Oh, no, you're going to start with me? Don't start with me.
Okay,
Definitely
Finn,
don't start with me.
Finn, let's start with you.
Finn, go.
Wow. It's hard because it sounds so cliched, but like every day was a joy that I came to set and worked. It was always really, really fun. But there was one day where me and you, Hailee, were playing Heads Up. Do you remember that day? We were like in the parlor, and there was just something about like the energy on set that day. And like what I loved about it is like we could, behind the scenes, we could all have fun and we could all connect. But then when we came to work, like we were in it and we cared about the performances. And just that day in particular for me really just glued it all together. We can produce good work, and behind the scenes we can like have fun and hang out. And I just thought it was a really special show because of that dynamic on and off screen.
Who won Heads Up?
I do remember now. It just came to me.
Because we were humming the song, right? And so
That's
it was
right.
like it was one where like you would display the song and I'd have to hum it. It was pretty equal, I'd say.
We'll settle for that. It's probably me, but
yeah. I mean, you've got the footage
go
on the phone.
against
I'm sure
Hailee
you'll
and
find
singing
out.
a song, but like, yeah, you do you, sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Ella, how about you?
I don't know about you, Hailee, but and Jane, but the couple of weeks that we were shooting the spa episode was so funny. I love all of the women of the show getting an episode where we all got to be together, including Jessica Hetch, who is just phenomenal in the episode. Was so much fun. There's like a particular scene where we're all in these like baths just for our bottoms. And our legs are kind of out wide, and we're supposed to be like cleaning that area of our body. And also kind of Jessica is like having like a semi-orgasm while she's talking. And it was just like the most absurd scene to shoot. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite days.
How about you, Jane?
I feel like I have a few from this season. My favorite acting scene and bonding scene was the one with Hailee, where we are in the spa and we are getting some sort of cocoon treatments, and then I think it's the first time we actually see Mrs. Dickinson do some good mothering and actually show that she can be a good mother to Emily. And I think it was a large growth moment for Mrs. D. And I love acting with Hailee because, like Ella said earlier, her work ethic and her talent is so big that it forces you to try your best and wants you to elevate your work to be as truthful as hers. And so I love getting to do scenes with her. And from the first scene I ever did within season 1 to everything we have shot, I feel she makes me better and makes me want to elevate my ability. And I greatly appreciate that in her. But my favorite scene is
pushes us to be fearless in our roles as well. Like as executive producer and as Emily, just to go further and go deeper and feel safer in the environment of this show.
Thank you.
My favorite scene as my favorite scene as a viewer though is and I don't want to give a spoiler, but there's a big dance number later in the series too that I'm so obsessed with those stop movements those girls are doing. I do not know how to do them, and I need Alena to introduce me to them so I can learn how to do that, because I watched it 5 times over and over again.
So good.
And obsessed.
Yes. Obsessed.
All right.
So look for that.
Noted.
To that.
Noted for future dance numbers for Mrs. D. I have to say my favorite episode of season 2 is our opera episode. And, there are, scenes between all the people, scenes between Hailee and Finn that blows me away, between Hailee and Ella that blows me away, between Jane and Toby that I think is like one of the most special Mr. and Mrs. D moments that we get to see. And it really was also a case with this opera episode, which was directed by Silas Howard, who has directed in both seasons of our show and is in season 3 going to be coming on as a producing director. It was at everyone reaching for their best, you know, like we had real opera singers, and the costumes kicked it up to another level, and the production design, and just, I mean, everybody, and we have, you know, our composers were involved. I mean, there's just every single person who's involved in making Dickinson what it is came together to make something that I think you could watch just that episode on its own, and it could play as a satisfying piece of art. So I love it, and yeah, I'm really happy about it.
All right, Hailee, close us out.
Okay, so I have two that come to mind, and one is that dance sequence that Jane is referring to. And a fun fact about that, my choreographer that I've been working with on my touring and music side of things for years, Nick Demora, came on and choreographed that dance. Jane, so I can put you in touch with him.
Excellent.
I
have an in now. Okay, great.
And it was so amazing for me just to kind of see, in a way, I love when I have these sort of full circle moments in my career when I see one sort of enter the other or influence the other. And so to have Nick, who has influenced me in my life as an artist so much, come into our world of Dickinson that is so unlike anything him and I have ever done. I think it's safe to say, and unlike anything he's done himself too. To have him come was really amazing, and he created something so awesome and something that is so Dickinson at the end of the day, and that is that particular scene in the later episode. My second one is in our season finale, and I won't give too much away, but where Emily has a really she sort of comes back to herself finally through having lost herself completely. She confronts Sam Bowles in this really amazing scene that I love so much, and that then turns into, again, without spoiling much, where Emily ends up in our season finale, and that is a beautiful story that unfolds with Emily and Sue. So I guess that answer is, in a nutshell, episode 10, as well as the dance sequence.
Spoiler! No.
Right, there.